I'm Eric, I play drums.
Annie, vocals.
DJ, guitar.
Brendan, I play bass.
Marco, I play the sax.
Bob, I play percussion.
Ryan.
Yeah, so I think we're all equally fascinated with sort of the like 1968 through 1971 era Jamaica, produced stuff, Studio One, Trojan Records. That I think we really just try to, that's probably where we take our biggest stylistic cues from, I think. I know at least as a drummer, that I pretty much rely exclusively on Scotalites and stuff from that era as well.
Yeah, it's a West African instrument. We just kind of throw it into the mix in a couple of places to see how it fits, and it seems to take off already. So there's, I guess, maybe a little bit of ignorance of that period that you cited, but you kind of throw some other stuff in and kind of give it a look.
The era is the influence, but it's not exactly, we're not trying to do it note for note or anything.
Yeah, we're not tributes.
I don't know that
we emulate.
And I don't know that we could, right? I mean, with so many of our own influences and stuff, being jazz trained and being in punk and other type of bands over the years, I think that has a lot to do with, I don't think we could, if we wanted to, play it straight, like it used to be played.
No, but we try our best.
I think that our friends and everything, and the people we associate with, and a lot of the greater national scene, there's a lot of tie-in with that.
Right. Actually, when we met, I was playing in an old punk band, and you played in an old punk band. Annie played in an old ska band, but she also hung out with a lot of the old punk bands and all of the people from that genre. That's all definitely had a big influence. My passion since the early days was always reggae, but the skinheads that I would hang out with were more into oi. So it was kind of an interesting dichotomy where I influenced them, they influenced me musically, and that kind of rounded me out.
I think that the scooter scene at large, at least up till about 10 years ago, had a huge predominance of non-racist skinheads in it anyway, right? So. Right, so there's just this big overlap of, skinheads and reggae have gone together since the 60s, really, and again, it all wraps together with the whole British subculture in the 60s, right? I mean, you had the mods and the hard skin movement and
the soul boys and everybody,
right?
They were really into it.
So I think as subcultures, there's a ton of overlap there, if for no other reason than they were all period 60s youth movements, and the things they listened to. And there's a lot of other bands in other cities that, you've probably heard of, but that also have a lot of tie-in with those scooter scenes in those cities, like the Pie Tasters and the Hub City Stompers, who have members in those bands that are also in the local scooter clubs. So we end up playing shows with them a lot, again, just because of the whole scooter tie-in as well.
Yeah. The scooter scene is definitely one of those big families that we're deeply involved with. It's good for us.
And, I mean, we would love to play with the Agrolites again. I think they're a pretty huge influence on this, bringing that kind of vintage style of organ-heavy, rock-steady kind of music back in this time. The Slackers, again, a huge, massive influence. Hepcat.
Yeah, absolutely. Even some of the more third wave style bands, the Toasters, have been on for a long time, been an influence for me.
There's a lot of this same style of music in other places in the world too, that Firebug in Brazil I'm a huge fan of, and they do an amazing, with their effects and all the organ stuff that they're doing. Again, it's very reminiscent of the same era that we're really trying to emulate as well.
I mean, there's a lot of influences from the other eras too. Sure. We're not trying to emulate two-tone or third wave, but there's a lot of bands that came from there that really had a lot of good ideas and a lot of good music.
Sure.
I think they still influence me and give me ideas. Bands like the Hot Knives or the Riffs, bands, Mr. Review, all of those.
And I think we shouldn't also deny like the soul impact. Like
Oh,
you being
the soul, yes, that's huge. Yeah, we can't deny that for sure.
DJ's been a major soul DJ in the city for 7 or 8 years now, longer. Yeah.
I don't think we can deny either. Eric writes a lot of the songs, and they have a lot of jazz structure to a lot of them as well. And I mean, I know personally that's the background I come from, playing the sax with jazz groups, but and I approach my solos more in that way, but a lot of the changes in the songs have really helped me with that because they are pretty influenced by jazz, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's probably where we diverge more than anywhere else from the vintage stuff. Like,
right.
It seems like you know, so much of that late '60s Jamaican stuff was played incredibly simply. You know, 2 or 3 chords a song, very simple stuff. And I think
Very simple structure.
Yeah, and I think
maybe more groove based than
yeah,
it was.
absolutely. And my years like in jazz conservatory have really sort of tainted me to like write everything like in a very jazz. With jazz chord progressions and stuff that tend to be a little more elaborate.
We got a couple of things that we're recording right now. Some songs that we've played live that we haven't recorded yet. So we'll definitely have some new stuff coming out. We opened up for the Pie Tasters, and it was like one of the best shows that we had played as a band at that time, and also Steve is just a fantastic dude. Just can't say enough about that guy. He's been involved with the scene for a long, long time, and really loves the scooter scene. Just really into it. Honestly, like these days, you can't get a better beer than the American microbrew. There's just so many good beers out there right now.
I like the left. That's my name saying.
Any beer that's free is a good beer.
That might be a good.
Here's the bar gives us for flying.
All right, we are The Pressure, and thanks to AZProductions.